All right, so hey, so regression models. So we've done regression models before. Yes, we did it in the fall. Yes.
So if it gets to the 5th degree, is it still quarters rather than the
We would just run it as a quartic.
No, it got crushed.
But I was going to show you. You can make it if you're using Desmos. You can do it all the way up to the 5th as well. Yeah. Regression model. So in the fall, we learned how to do regression models using our TI-84. Okay. So these are literally the steps that we did in the TI-84. Do those kind of ring a bell? Look familiar?
Yeah.
A little bit.
The trauma thing. Yes.
Okay. So what we're going to do is you still have this option. However, this unit is focused on using Desmos to create a regression model. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay. So you have this options, all great and dandy, but we're going to focus on using Desmos. Okay. Handheld, I prefer this option. It's just in my hand, and I feel like I move faster than pressing things on the computer. But what we're going to do is we're going to talk about how to use Desmos to do it. Okay. Using Desmos, you have to write it in a certain format. Okay. The format for Desmos, it's a algorithmic format. And so depending on what you have, there's a certain way you have to write it. So if I have a linear, so if I go through this and realize that it's a linear, in Desmos, I'm writing 1. And then the inye, is that what it's called? I think. This when you go like that, inye. Yeah. And then you would have your mx1 plus b. Okay. Then now when we go to quadratic, for quadratic, it's still y1 in I hope I'm not butchering that. And it's going to be ax1 squared. Plus, yes, y1 plus bx1 plus c. Ax sub 1 squared plus bx sub 1 plus c. Okay. After quadratic, all other degrees follow the same pattern. Okay. So after a quadratic, if I have a cubic, a 3rd degree, it's going to be y sub 1 in ax1 to the 3rd plus bx1 squared plus cx1 plus d. So do you see how the degree changed? It adds another term to the pattern. Yeah?
Do we have to clarify that it's number 1?
Yes, you have to have the 1. And it'll type itself out.
Is there a 4th by?
Yes, it's the same pattern. It just keeps getting bigger and bigger. So if it's a quartic of 4th degree, 1 and it'll be ax1 to the 4th plus bx1 to the 3rd plus cx1 to the 2nd plus dx1 to the 1st plus e. Just so you can see the pattern. Does that make sense?
You have to write the 1?
Yes, you have to write the 1.
Can I put my laptop up or we need it?
You're about to use Desmos, so you need it.
Okay. Oh, well.
You'll just watch us. Okay. So in Desmos, we're going to put this in there and we're going to go through. Okay. So we're going to have to add a table to our Desmos. And then once we add our table, we type in whichever one we need. Okay. So before we do that, first we got to determine which one are we looking at. So we're going to go through and find our difference. So 55 to 15 is negative 40, right? 15 to 1 is 1 to 1 is 3. 1 to 3 is 2. Is it linear? No. Negative 40, negative 14 minus negative 40. 26.
14.
0 minus negative 14. 2 minus 0. 2 minus 0 is just 2.
2 minus 0.
14 minus 26.
12.
Negative 12. And 2 minus 14 is? So therefore, I'm dealing which one?
3rd.
The 3rd. So we're going to use our 3rd because that's our 3rd difference is the same. Yes? All right. To Desmos. It depends on the y. Got it.
Okay. Yeah, got it. All right, so we're gonna go to Desmos. Desmos. That's not how you spell Desmos. And we're gonna go
I did have this.
graphing calculator. I told you did. All right, we gotta add our table. To add a table, you literally gonna press the add button. And you're gonna click on table. And now you're gonna type in your values. Okay, so what were our values? -2, right? Yeah. -1, 0, 1, and 2. What were our y values? 55, 15, 1, and 3. Okay, so it's gonna plot them for us. As you can see, you can zoom out if you can't see them all. Got quite a ways, but now you should be able to see them all. Okay, now in Y2, that's where we're writing everything at. So we already said that we had to use the cubic one, right? So we're gonna write Y1 in y, and it's cubic, so it's AX1 to the third. Remember, to get a power, you're just hitting shift 6 plus BX1 shift 6 squared plus CX1 plus D.
How do you get the subscript? What
You
is
type the 1 and it automatically makes it a subscript.
Oh, okay.
Mhm. Okay. So you can adjust how you're looking at it, your window. But you can see that, But you can see that it created it. Who needs me? Okay, let's look and see. Okay, so the values right here, your parameters, that's what you're gonna write your equation with. So we have y equals -2, a equals -2, b equals 7, c equals -5, d equals 1. So therefore my equation would be y equals -2 x to the third plus 7x squared minus 5x plus 1. Okay, so I'm going to write it out. I'm doing it anyway.
Fair enough.
So we have y equals, and our a is what? -2x cubed. Our b is 7x squared. Our c is minus 5x, and our d is 1. And there's your cubic function that represents your data. Yes?
No.
Terrible, doable,
I mean,
pretty
you
doable?
need a rocket scientist, like, yeah, I think it's doable.
Okay. All right, so then we just have more practices to do in our notes. So we can practice, but that is the gist of it.
I literally can't keep it